How's it going, team? Everybody got big, exciting plans for the weekend? It's Thursday night here right now, and that's what I'm doing. I'm planning my weekend, and I want it to be a good weekend, and the best weekend that's gonna help me for the rest of my life, right? And I want it to be like fun and enjoyable too. Get rested up, lots of sleep. I know they say you should always like have an advisor, somebody who you learn from, and I've always liked Jordan Peterson. I downloaded this onto my music, just like listen to what he has to say.
You want. That's the trick. It's like, okay, I've got tomorrow. If I was going to set it up so it was the best possible day I could have, practically speaking, what would it look like? Well, then you schedule that, and obviously there's a bit of responsibility that's going to go along with that, because if you have any sense, one of the things that you're going to insist upon is that at the end of the day, you're not in worse shape than you were than at the beginning of the day, right? Because that's a stupid day. If you have a bunch of those in a row, you just dig yourself a hole and then you bury yourself in it. It's like, sorry, that's just not a good strategy. It's a bad strategy. So maybe 20% of your day has to be responsibility and obligation, or maybe it's more than that, depending on how far behind you are. But even that, you can ask yourself, okay, well, I've got these responsibilities. I have to schedule the things in. What's the right ratio of responsibility to reward? And you can ask yourself that, just like you'd negotiate with someone who is working for you. It's like, okay, you got to work tomorrow. Okay, so I want you to work tomorrow. And you might say, okay, well, what are you going to do for me that makes it likely that I'll work for you? Well, you could ask yourself that,
All right. So one thing I really want to do is I want to take some of my funds, and I want to probably one of the best things you can learn to invest into is an ETF. I'm going to read this book this weekend too by Warren Buffett about investing. And I already know, he said, watching his videos, he said, if you invest in the S&P 500, you're investing in America.
Well, I told the trustee for my wife to put 90% of the funds I leave her into. The S&P 500 is, I don't know whether it's 80% of the market value of everything you can buy in this country, and it's over. I think it's over 20 trillion, and you're buying America, and
basically that's like. The S&P 500 stands for the top 500 companies in America. And I know last year it was they had 505 different companies. And I know this year Tesla was added to it and whatnot. So I'm curious. I'm going to find out. Maybe it is more than 505 now. But I'm going to read this book and I'm going to figure out which ETF I want to invest into for the S&P 500. I think there's 4 of them. The biggest one, the number one is SPY. SPY is the ticker. And then there's VU. And I'll show you here. I was looking today. I was listening to people talk about the different ones too, and then all the advantages to them, because some of them have dividends that are better. They're all relatively the same though. This is my indexes watch list, and you can't see that very good there. It's not focusing. But so the SPY, VU, ticker VOO, and IVV is the other one. So I might get some of each, because I want to make videos about this, and as I said, they're all basically the same, but it might just be kind of cool to have a little of each of them, because that's what's really fun to do, is buy just some stocks just to see how they're performing. So I like to follow a lot of different Instagrams that are about investing too. So that's what gave me this idea, figure out what you're gonna do this weekend. Probably try to get some exercise. It says disconnect, but that's kind of hard to do, disconnect, because you got if you really want to study stuff, you got to be watching videos and be connected. So that'll be we'll see there. But I'm gonna read this book. I haven't read too many books in a while. Most of the reading I do is just online. But it says the classic bestseller on value investing by Warren Buffett. I do know he's big on value investing, and you have to look at how successful he's became from it. and I always get well rested up. So I'm planning next week, and that's what I'm doing really with all this, is planning for as soon as Monday morning hits. I'm getting up early, and I am purchasing the ETFs that I've decided to invest into. Because the thing is, it's like, why wait? Because if you look at their graphs, like, they're just constantly getting better and better. I feel dumb for not investing in them years ago, even though I've, like, as you can see, what I've shown you already is I've made out good by investing into the stocks that I've invested into, especially with the electric vehicles. But I want to learn more about that too, because the EV bubble, they talk about it popping, and I do believe that, like, NEO and the electric vehicle stocks are going to keep going up, but I don't know. It's all a chance. It's always a chance. But these ETFs, like the S&P 500, that's not near as risky. If you're saving for retirement, say you're just like putting it all into a savings account, you're much farther ahead to invest that money into, say, one of these S&P 500 ETFs that I'm going to talk about in the video of what I decide, which one I decide to choose. And like I said, I may choose all of them. But another, I don't know, these aren't really memes, but I like this here, where it shows you that if you were to invest $10 a day, imagine, like, you probably spend $10 a day on your breakfast or lunch, or you definitely spend $10 a day on things, but you invest $10 a day into an ETF that mirrors the S&P 500, which that's what I'm going to talk about, like such as VU or SPY, it says, or the other ones. And look how much more money you will have in, say, in 40 years. But it doesn't matter how long you go, you're better off than just saving it under your bed or even in a savings account. So that's what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm going to figure out which ETFs I'm going to invest into. So thanks for watching, team. Like and subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think is what I should invest into. Because as I said, I've already been watching the different videos on people's opinions. Some of them have different dividends. I use Thinkorswim. So, like, the one video I watched said to invest into, what was that last one I said, IVV. Yeah. So, thanks for watching. Talk to you guys next video.